We don't see things as they are. We see them as we are. And imagine this. The red of an apple, the blue of the sky, the gold of your lamp. In raw physics, none of those colors exist, only invisible wavelengths. Your brain receives those signals and paints a world. If color is constructed, what else is? Find the first crack in the mirror. You have a hole in your vision right now. Close your right. Hold a finger at arm's length and slide it left while staring ahead. At a point, your finger vanishes. That's your blind spot, where the optic nerve exits the eye. You never see a hole. Your brain fills it blue for a blue wall, pattern for pattern. Not a guess, a creation. There's more? Your eyes make lightning-fast jumps, called saccades. During each jump, the brain mutes the blur so you don't feel seasick. You are functionally blind many times per minute, yet experience a steady scene. The brain edits, stitches, and smooths, hiding the seams so well you rarely suspect the magic. What does this mean? You don't passively receive reality. You assemble it. The brain predicts first and confirms later. It runs a best guess model of what's out there, then uses just enough sensory input to keep the model on track. Walking at dusk, you don't compute from zero, you simulate trees swaying, small animals in brush, fading light. Senses correct the simulation rather than build it from scratch. Perception isn't a photograph. It's a controlled hallucination steered by data. Now, turn inward. Heartbeat. Breath. Gut. Your brain listens to these internal signals. When you're anxious, the room can feel tense. Neutral words sound sharp. Not because the world flipped, but because your state told the predictive brain, be vigilant, and your experience followed. Sadness desaturates color. Exhaustion makes hills steeper. Love softens faces. This isn't mere bias. It's the engine of perception. Feelings are data, as real to your brain as light and sound. Why evolve a system like this? Survival needs speed, not metaphysical accuracy. Your senses are a desktop interface. You don't see the code quantum fields, equations, raw complexity. You see icons, space, objects, colors, time. Useful. Fictions, icons don't resemble code, but they let you act quickly enough to live, learn, choose. We descend from creatures who used a crisp interface, not from those who stared into complexity and froze. Here's the turning point. If perception is constructed, you aren't just observing a world, you're participating in its making. Attention is your brush. Emotion, your palette. Prediction, your sketch. Sensory input, your editor. The boundary between inner and outer softens. You are not trapped behind a veil. You co-create the veil! You peer through and you can weave it with care! Let's practice! First, a 10-second reality check. Fix your gaze on one point. Notice the urge to dot your eyes and how the scene stays smooth. Whisper, my brain stitches this moment. That reminder reveals the seams and your agency. Second, a 30-second interoceptive reset. Hand on heart, hand on belly. Inhale 4, hold 2, exhale 6 cycles. Ask, what am I feeling? Name it once. Warm, tight, fluttery, heavy. Then ask, given this state, what is my brain predicting about the world? This breaks the spell that the world is tense when the body is tense. Third, a tiny prediction journal. Daily. Write one line. I expect X. In situation Y afterward, note what actually happened. This trains you to notice where prediction ends and evidence begins. Over time, you'll feel less pushed by old forecasts and more guided by what's present. Keep a few truths close. Attention directs construction. What you highlight, you strengthen. You're not denying difficulty. You're choosing which threads to weave into the next frame. State, before story. When emotions surge, tend to the body breath, posture, hydration. A short walk, then interpret the email, the comment, the silence. Small moves, big leverage. One aligned breath, one curious question. One kind reframe. Perception updates in little hinges swing big doors. None of this diminishes wonder. It amplifies it. If the brain can paint a world, you can learn to paint with it. If feelings color the scene, you can choose wiser palettes. If attention is a brush, you can practice strokes that bring more truth, compassion, and clarity into view. One last experiment. Read this sentence as if someone you love wrote it. You doing better than you think. Notice your chest, breath, face. Now read it as if a stern critic wrote it. Feel the shift. Same words. Different signals. Different world! You came for perception and found participation. You asked what the world is and discovered how you make the world you meet. That is not a burden. It is a blessing, a craft to practice. Tonight, notice one seam in the mirror. Tomorrow, choose one brushstroke of attention that serves who you're becoming. When doubt arrives, hand to heart, whisper, state first, then story, then take the next honest step. Tell me in the comments. Which experiment hit you hardest? Stand? What tiny practice will you carry into tomorrow? And what topic should we explore next on this journey of consciousness and wonder?